Hi, this is Andrew for Geek News Central, and on the desk in front of me I have the Roku Streaming Stick Plus. This is one of two new models that have come to the UK, and the other one being the Roku Express. The UK hasn't had much Roku love in the past year or so. We've been relying on the original kind of Roku 2 and Roku 3 models, and so it's great to see Roku coming back to the market. They've kind of been overshadowed here a little bit without really support for either 4K or HDR. So some of their competitors, whom I'm sure you're all familiar with, have been offering some of those for a little while. So as I say, it's great to see them back in the market. Okay, well let's open the box up and see what's inside. So this is as I say, this is the stick model. So you can expect, excuse the knife here whilst I open up the box. That's that side. Don't do this at home if you're children, as they say. Okay. There we go. So, as it's the stick model, there's not much really to show here. At least, let's see if I can get it out of the box. Okay, so there is the stick itself. We've got the HDMI port at one end, so we just bung it in. You've got what looks like to be a, let's get this round. This is not it's a mini USB connection here. I don't know if you can just see it there in the light. And it looks like there's a reset button here. So that's pretty much it. There's a bit more plastic here. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so that's pretty neat, and that's going to be perfect for going behind any wall-mounted flat screen kind of TVs and things like that, where you really need it flat against the wall. It is wireless, as you might guess, because there's no network connection. It's BGN, all that kind of good stuff. And as I mentioned earlier, it supports 4K and HDR streaming. Let's see what else is in the box. Okay, so we've got our quick start guide. And we have a USB, oh no, that's actually a USB extension lead, which is kind of handy. And we have a Roku power supply, sorry. We've got the remote control that comes with batteries, which is always a nice touch. Now, because I'm just going to put the batteries in the remote control, because the remote control because the streaming stick is going to go behind a TV, it's not going to be visible. So in this instance, this is a wireless remote rather than an infrared remote, which is always a bonus. So you don't need line of sight to. You don't need line of sight to be able to control the Roku. Okay, so that's the batteries in there. Now, really what there he is, he's hiding down the back. I was wondering where this cable was. So, okay, so there we have the USB to micro or mini USB, connector. Struggling to peel this off, but we'll get there. Okay, so there it is. So that's just gonna plug right on in there. Now I'm guessing though I guess sometimes the manufacturers don't like me saying this, is that this particular short length means that if necessary you can plug the adapter into a USB port on the TV itself, rather than having the USB power adapter down the back of the TV and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see how we get on with that. I've got a TV just here, and we'll take a quick look once I've tied it up and got everything plugged in. Okay, hold on. Okay, well, we're back here with the Roku Streaming Stick Plus. I've installed the streaming stick into the HDMI port on my TV. I've also had a spare USB socket here, so I've been able to connect it in here. And then here's the kind of power adapter. Now, what I've also discovered from reading the instructions is that this unit here is actually where it has the Wi-Fi antenna and that kind of stuff. So that's what that big chunky thing is there for. So we'll get it all powered up and I'll get back onto the tripod. So apologies for the slightly shaky camera work here. It's kind of hard behind the back of my TV, and you can see all the toys on the floor. But we'll get sorted and get back on the tripod ever so soon. Okay, back shortly. Okay, so in this instance, my TV is not up to providing sufficient power, so hopefully the Roku tells me this, so I'll get that switched over and plug in the Roku adapter. Okay, this time the Roku is powering up as planned, so let's just give it a moment to get going. Right, so let's get started. So I've just pressed the first button on the remote, so hopefully it's now trying to do the pairing. Seems to be successful. We're in English, so it's looking for my wireless network. Okay, so just going to pause the video here whilst I input all my top secret pin codes. Okay, so I thought I'd just show you this. This is how it works. It can be a little bit painful if oh, let me go here. My begins with a capital letter, so you can kind of see it's a bit of a faff scrolling backwards and forwards, but I guess that's just the way it has to be. So back in a sec. So looks gone and checked for new software. Appears there is some, so it's doing a quick update. Okay, well that didn't take too long. It's going to, looks like it's going to restart, and hopefully that'll be it. Here we go. Now the new remote that comes with the Streaming Stick Plus, it does have additional controls over the previous remotes where you can now control the volume and I think also the on-off of the TV. So it's that's a handy to have, because there's always a pain trying to look for the TV remote control when you're in the middle of something, just to turn the volume up or down. Okay, so let's see how this goes. Looks like it's telling me the battery level. So okay, let's go to automatic. It looks like it's good to me. Okay, let's check the remote settings. Yes, music is playing. Yes, the music has stopped playing. Yeah. Okay, so I guess what's interesting here is that this new super smart remote has both the wireless to control the Roku, but it also has infrared to control the TV. That's pretty neat, actually. I like that. Okay, so I'm just going to do what it says here, which is kind of neat, because I think one of the things that it'll need is going to. I'm a Roku user, an existing Roku user, so entering in my username and password and all that kind of stuff on the screen in the past used to be a bit of a faff, but it looks like now they're using the tablet or PC to get around that. Okay, so I'm just going to hold this for a second, and we'll come back once I've got logged on. Okay, so I completed the setup on the web. It's all very straightforward. You just go through a number of screens to add in your username and password and all those sorts of things. So it's now updating the streaming stick with the channels that are already on my account. So you can see it's loading Netflix, and it's shortly go through another 40 odd channels that I've got. So we'll come back when that has finished. And after about 2 to 3 minutes, that was it done. I uploaded all the 50 odd channels that I've got. So here's all my stuff, as they say. I'm sure you'll recognize quite a lot of those. There's the Roku media player. That's quite handy if you do have media stored remotely on a NAS or something similar. And then you'd recognize all the YouTubes and the iPlayers and the Amazons and all that kind of stuff. So let's just fire up the iPlayer just to see how quickly it loads up. I'm expecting it to be pretty good. Yeah, it's not bad at all. Ultra HD. Well, I don't have an Ultra HD TV, sadly, so I shall skip that and just go straight on to the iPlayer Home. So okay, so there's all the usual ones that you'd expect to see. I think these days, lastly, you have to sign in to check that you're paying your TV license and all that kind of stuff. But that looks pretty good. It is pretty. It's definitely, I think, a wee bit faster than the previous generation. And let's just check that. Let's try and go to YouTube. YouTube used to be a bit slow, so it'll be interesting to see how quickly this loads up. Oh, that's very impressive. Okay, yes, I'll come on to that later. But that is pretty impressive, because on the previous generation Roku that I had, I think, which was a Roku 2, a very early Roku 2, YouTube sometimes used to take ages to load up, and sometimes we'd never get there. So that's pretty impressive. Let's go back. Yep. I like Redbird TV. There's always some insane stuff going on there. Yeah, no, that's pretty good actually. So I better skip out of that before I get flagged for YouTube violations. No, come on. Okay, so let's just see if there's any. I mean, you've got your feed, which shows you. It's just a different way of looking at some of the stuff if you're particularly interested in finding a particular movie from across your channels and things like that. You've got your search function. You can look for any movie, TV channel, actor, that kind of stuff. It's pretty good actually. These are just, if you like your streaming channels, this is where you can go in and pick what you're interested in. So it shows you what, you can see the little ticks here, shows you what you've already kind of subscribed to. So there's always new stuff coming on. I quite often use the new one every now and then, just go in and have a look through and see what's new. I'm just going to have a quick look in settings to see, because this is presumably where some of the new stuff is. Yeah, so here what we can see is that the Streaming Stick now supports 4K. In the past, you wouldn't have seen any of these 4K stuff, so that's pretty good. So you've got your 4K just standard TV with 30 Hertz, 60 Hertz. You've also got the HDR TVs, which HDR, for those who are not familiar, give you those kind of like the greater range of, I guess it's I'm trying to think whether it's contrast or whatever, but basically the blacks should be blacker. So that's really great to see, especially if you have a really fancy TV and you want to show it off at its best. What else have we got on the audio side of things? HDMI, all good stuff. Well, look, that must be pretty much it, really. Certainly for a quick overview review. I guess just ought to mention the price. So this is certainly one of the more expensive. Sorry, this is the more expensive one of the two models that have come to the UK. The Streaming Stick Plus comes in at £79.99, so just a penny under 80 quid. It's definitely the one to get if you have a high-end TV and want to avail of all the features that 4K and HDR can offer. If you don't have a high-end TV and the Roku Express, it's just £29.99, so that's a penny under 30 quid, and I think that's actually excellent value, particularly if you have a TV, in the children's room or in the kitchen, and you want to be able to get iPlayer really, really quickly, and you're not faff around with apps and all that kind of stuff. So from that point of view, if you have a lesser TV, shall we say, have a look at the Roku Express. But for those of you who've got the bee's knees when it comes to the flat screen TVs, the Streaming Stick Plus is the one to get. Available from, shall we say, all good electronic stores. Well, not electronic, all good stores generally, whether online or in the high street. So you can get it from the likes of, I think, Argos and PC World and places like that. Okay, well, look, I think that's it. So this is Andrew for Geek News Central, signing off on a quick unboxing and review of the new Roku Streaming Stick Plus. Thanks very much.